the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is going to be a continuation of a video which I have done yesterday. And it was a video based on Black History Month, in which, Black History Month was created by these heathen nations, starting with the so-called white man down to the other nations, to keep us further in the dark and to hide us from our true nationality. So, when you read Deuteronomy 28 verse 37, which that's what we're going to be going into today, you will learn that the Israelites in these last days, the whole world will not know who the real Israelites are, because the real Israelites have been discontinued from their heritage, presuming to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. However, in these last days, the Israelites will wake up to their nationality of who they are, and they will come back to their heritage, as it is written. So Deuteronomy 28, verse 37, and thou, when it says thou, that's talking about the whole nation of Israel, everybody that is an Israelite, which will be a so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So, like it tells you in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1, it tells you Israel's a scattered sheep. That prophecy did come to pass, because there are Israelites everywhere. You got Israelites living in Arabia, Iraq, Iran, China, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Thailand, Asia, Europe, places like London, Spain, Scotland, Russia, Germany, Antarctica, Canada, America, South America, Mesoamerica, Mexico, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, or Puerto Rico. You also got Israelites living in Ukraine, Australia. So there's Israelites literally everywhere. Okay, and the Lord scattered us as a nation of people. Why? Because as it is written, we have moved the Lord to wrath. So what happened was that, because wherever the Israelite man likes to go, he likes to pop women. He likes to have sex and get women pregnant. So, the man carries the seed. So if this man pops a woman and he ejaculates his seed inside of a woman, that baby, the body of that baby is made by the man's seed, by that man's seed, okay? Which will make that baby an Israelite. So where am I getting at? It don't matter what you look like. If your father's lineage on your father's side, because the man carries the seed is in the man's nutsack. So if your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to a so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian, then you are an Israelite regardless of what you look like. because your nationality is based on who your father is. So, there's going to be Israelites. There's going to be Israelites that's going to look like people of the other nations. Now, what I would like to do here, because I've done this yesterday, let's look up the definition for proverb, okay? And you get mashal, okay? You get mashal. In here, it says proverb, parable. Now, I would like to draw your main attention to parable, okay? As you can see, the word parable appears twice in this definition here, because basically that's what happened. We became a parable amongst the other nations. That's why, during the time of slavery, we were being called niggers, wetbacks, spooks, yard apes, Negroes, jigaboo or a boo. A lot of people don't understand where boo comes from. Boo really comes from when they would use Israelite babies as alligator bait to catch alligators so they can make leather clothing and leather shoes and leather seats and leather of anything. So, that's where boo comes from, And as a matter of fact, the proper term that it was called gator boo. That's why if you're an Israelite man, you shouldn't let a woman call you her boo, okay? Because she's basically calling you gator bait. And in a spiritual sense, we know that the alligator are the heathen nations because, well, as it is written, our people are led as a flock to the slaughter. And alligators are basically predators. So let's go into the definition of parable here. So this is the definition of parable. And this, because, in order to understand why we are being called Black, Latino, or Native Indian, Dominican, Haitian, Guatemalan, Panamanian, Uruguayan, Colombian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, so-called Native Indian, Seminole Indian, Jamaican, Haitian, Cuban. In order to understand why we are being called these things, it's important to understand Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And the key point here is proverb, okay? Now, a proverb is a name, a word, a phrase. No, not proverb. When you look up the definition for proverb, it goes back to the Hebrew word mashal, which means parable. And when you go into the word parable, a parable is a name, a word, a phrase, or statement that is used to substitute something for something else. Like for an example, in a sentence, you might say, when the wicked was taken out of power, all of the trees of the earth rejoiced. Now, this would be considered a parable because, well, the trees, when I say trees, I'm talking about actual people. I'm not talking about actual trees. So trees is the substitute that I would use for people. So a parable is something you use to keep something hidden from somebody or to keep somebody in the dark. And that's basically what happened to our people. When our nationality was beaten out of us, the slave masters had put a parable upon the Israelites. And those parables will be what? You're Black. You're a Haitian. You're a Jamaican. You're a Mexican. You're a Puerto Rican. You're a Dominican. You're a Native Indian. You're a Seminole Indian. You're a Uruguayan. You're a Colombian. You're a Guatemalan. You're a Panamanian. You're a Mexican. You're a Cuban. Okay? And those are parables. Okay? Those are the parables that the slave master had put upon our nation to keep us in the dark. To keep us in the dark from what? To keep us in the dark from our true nationality, which is the fact that we are Israelites. So this is the definition for parable from google.com. It doesn't really give you the full scoop. So I had to go to etymology dictionary. Now, parable, as you see up here,
Parable.